We all go through things and people press our buttons. At times on the initiatic path, devotees reach specific levels of awareness and pass through initiations that cause a stirring in their souls where things are not always maybe as we desire them to be. Things can get discombobulated, things can be thrown off in our outer awareness. And what is the reason for this? Why do we have to go through certain things that are very testy, very intense, very emotional, or mentally trying? Well, we know the initiatic path, and we know that we must master our thoughts and our feelings as one of the most important initiations that we go through, because how can we be a true master unless we are in that state of equipoise and equanimity where we're not in a super reactive state? It's easy to be thrown off kilter sometimes, and even the best of us, even with our beloved ones, our spouses whom we adore, or our friends that we revere and we work with, and sometimes in close proximity, things come up and it doesn't seem natural. It seems maybe contrived by the dark ones, yet they happen. And how can we really master ourself to the point that we feel like we are like Jesus in the immensity of his aura of perfect love and perfect joy and perfect God desire and perfect feelings and thoughts? I believe that purity is one of the absolute most important virtues to contact, to imbibe, and to seek for with all of our beings, so that that light, that white light of the Divine Mother pouring through us can, first of all, prevent some major problems, yet also deal with these irregularities and these anomalies with aplomb and with a certain finesse, a spiritual finesse that proves that we have truly mastered our psychology, mastered who we are. And the greatest way, in my opinion, to contact that purity is to remind ourselves that we were created in the image and likeness of God. We were created in perfection. And if we feel less than, or we feel bereft, or we feel that we've been manipulated, or that circumstances have contrived to really make us go out of kilter, let's say, or react, and we feel the emotions of it, we feel the intensity of it, we don't desire that, yet it happens. We go back to the original blueprint of our divine selfhood, and we allow the infusion deep inside of us again and again as necessary of this mother energy and this beautiful light, so that whatever the reason for what's happening happens, we can return to that understanding that we are pure in our true nature. We are pure in our souls. There's nothing that can take us off the path save our own lack of loving ourselves and allowing the endowment of God's grace deep within us in a profound way, where we build this reservoir of light and this oasis of divine joy and the frequencies of these virtues that surround that purity, so that we can return again and again to knowing who we truly are and abiding there and remaining there and remaining stationed in our true state of perfected beingness. We all go through things and people press our buttons, and our family members sometimes do this unbeknownst, or maybe it's just part of the drama of being in 3D in this world, that things happen that we don't really enjoy and we don't really appreciate. Yet it happens, and it continues to happen, even in our later years. And it's like, why, oh Lord, is this happening again and again and again? What is it within me that I have to deal with and master so that I don't treat my loved ones or others in any way that is less than the way I know that they desire to be treated and that they require to be treated, and that I would normally treat everything, with kid gloves. Well, we know the scripture of Paul, that which I would not do, I do, and that which I would do, I don't do. And it's the dweller in the threshold, and it's the ego, and it's the not self that we can blame it on. The devil made me do it, right? Yeah, we are the devil in those points. We can't blame it on the not self, ultimately, because we have consciousness, we have free will, we have the teaching, we know the teaching. So how do we master this? How do we get to that point where no matter what happens, inside, outside, to the left, to the right, above, below, wherever we are, we can maintain that stability of consciousness and that dynamism of the divine fire to the extent that we don't react? I think this is one of the key things, and we just don't always know what we don't know. We don't always know what's happening at subconscious levels with things that come up from other lifetimes that trick us or trip us. We just don't always have the profound outer knowledge or wisdom to know when things could happen and why and with whom and where. And so we have to be on guard. And the best way to be on guard, first, is to love God with your whole being and set yourself in this sacred space of adoration to the one, eternal one, as we just experienced. And then to love yourself, your higher self, as God loves you. And then by doing that, you can love everyone and treat everyone, because you love them, with the golden rule in mind, with non-reactivity, and have that pause before you say something or you do something or you act out or you lash out, and then you regret it and you go, why is this happening again? Why? So we are sheep in the sense that we follow the Christ. We're moving into a state of self-mastery where we're not just the shorn lamb anymore. We are the full-grown adults who are meant to be masters of our destiny by every thought and feeling manifesting through our awareness in such a way that we are always aligned and we are responsive to what is important, yet in the right way, where we don't misqualify energy and we don't make more karma. I found myself, at times here and there, 6, 7, 9, 12 times throughout the year, being a little more reactive than I really desire to be, and maybe saying things with a little bit of an edge. And if you find that you have the same issue, join me in attempting to work on your psychology with a greater depth, a greater focus, a greater consciousness, so that you can celebrate at the end of each day the fact that you maintained harmony. You can celebrate that things went in accord with love, unbounded and refreshed and invigorated by your awareness in that sacred space where you put God first, you put love first, beyond anything that is anti-love. even if it's just a little thread or a pencil line of anti-love, or let's say misguided, tiny little hatred. Mild dislike, a mother would call it. The mild dislike. I mean, it's such a subtle thing, a mild dislike. Maybe we should make a list of our mild dislikes. What presses our buttons, what we know that we've reacted to. And, if we all sat down and said, okay, these are my mild dislikes, these are my pet peeves. I am going to be the master. I am the master of my pet peeves and my mild dislikes. No longer will they hold sway in my world and my consciousness, so that time and again, when that little mild dislike, that thing that bugs me about what somebody else says, does, or the way they act or whatever, my button is not going to be pressed. I think we put glue around the button so it can't go down, And this is so important because I find, even with my life, that it's those little things that actually are great things, that are important things. It's those little things that trip us up, and none of us will ever be humanly perfect, right? And we understand that. We give ourselves a little permission and forgive ourselves for imperfections, because God isn't seeking human perfection. We know that. God just desires us to love and to love and to love and to learn by loving to give up the human, and to just offer it to God. I offer you, O Lord, my human, and I know I'm never going to be perfect humanly. Perfect my heart, perfect my joy, perfect my love and my light for others, for the world, for myself, for my greater family, my human family, my community. And I think that most of us are in the 95 percentile of getting it right 95% of the time. I really do feel those of you in the Heart Center are the 95 percentiles. You've been tested and tried, and you've gone through the tribulations, you've gone through the maybe nervous breakdowns even, or whatever it took to get you to where you are. It's just that little last 5% that all of us can be attentive to and feel responsible for, so that we can truly be masters. We can be masters. We can end this life knowing that we are soaring and that we are masters in embodiment. Not that we revel in it, not that we outwardly claim it. We never outwardly claim that we are a master. Never. Only God is really the master. And the true masters never spout it out outwardly to the world, because they don't have to, and that wouldn't be the humble and the right thing to do. I see all these people at these expos, I'm a master of this and master of that. It kind of, I guess that's one of my pet peeves that I have to not react to. But it's like, so what? Okay, they claim to be a master of this. Well, they've gone through training, they've gone through this. Okay, so they have a master's degree in whatever that is. Okay. Yet, does everybody understand where I'm coming from with this? Because I see it all the time. I behold it. And it's like, I don't desire that anymore. And I don't desire it for our community and for our heart friends, who I sincerely love and even adore in the right way, of course. I try to love the heart friends in our community with a rich and full, flavorful love, because I see your virtues. I see the God in you. I see what you've done, what you've sacrificed, what you've given. The sacrifices many of you have made to come to events, to come to classes, to come to these broadcasts all the time. I mean, you are living the standard of an initiate and of a master in the making. You are living that standard. It's just this last little pencil line, 5%, that I think all of us can win the day over and thereby benefit greatly, because then we're happier. We're happier, right? And I think all of us really truly desire to be happy. I don't think we can be fully happy if we have a distaste about some aspect of our own self or of another person that is that very subtle, mild dislike that kind of irks us, and then we blame the person or we blame ourselves over and over. And it's a vicious cycle. So I'd like to pray to the Queen of Light to help us with this. 40.007. She is a great master at using light to conquer the shadow worlds and the darkness anywhere and everywhere on the planet. And this is a very powerful prayer. We're going to give the preamble and give it a number of times. And I don't know, it could be 10, 12 times, because I think that when we enter into that light, it's going to do its alchemical work, and the splendor and the wonder of it will grace us with this ability to master what I've just shared today.